Hello, parents and people who are watching. Welcome to the first stream of the Spring 2022 season for the MHS Overwatch esports team. I'm Frank Burkowski, the current esports coach, and I will be your host tonight. So, welcome and enjoy. Tonight, they're going to be playing against Hobart, and so they currently have a score of 1-0, and let's hope they keep it tonight. Just want to let you guys know, please feel free to ask any questions in the chat. It definitely gives you something more to talk about, and it'll help inform you guys if you have any questions. So before we start, I'm going to go through our list of people who are currently playing. Up top, we have Caden, who is he's going to be our DPS for today. Next, some guy is Braden. He is our main tank, and which means he's probably one of our more important players, especially during the game. I'll explain more as we go along. The Potatoizer is Wyatt. He is another DPS today. Jelly Jeb is Jaylee. She will be our off tank, which I'll explain more about once we get farther in. Double Nuke is our main healer. I'll explain more once we get into the game. And Misguided Man is our other healer. Oh, I'm sorry. Double Nuke. Here we got Chris is our off healer, I should say, and Misguided, who is Jacob, is our main healer, which I'll explain more once we start playing into the game. Oh, as a matter of fact, we're putting Happy Feet in, which is Max, who will be playing for, well, hopefully once I see what we're actually doing in the game, I'll explain what he would be playing more. once again, please feel free to ask any questions about the individual players, who's on our team, and what they're doing. It makes my job a bit easier because I don't have to make up things to talk about or talk about just the game. I can actually answer some proper questions that you guys really want to know the answers to.
Traveling to Nepal.
And we begin tonight on the map of Nepal. It looks like the first map is... I can't quite tell yet. Yeah. They should be running a rush composition on this map because it is control point. Our rush composition tonight will consist of Reinhardt, D.Va. The DPS will have to switch depending on what the other team is using, and our two healers should be Lucio Moira or Lucio Baptiste.
Science will reveal the truth.
My friend,
so, our current lineup is Brigitte, Moira, D.Va, McCree, Reaper, and Reinhardt.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Round 1. Capture.
So we're focusing on Reinhardt here, Braden, some guy, our main tank, as he leads the charge into the fight. So they have has a Symmetra, and those Symmetras can be a really big danger. Oh, we lose Max really early on in the fight. Braden tries to bring the charge in. Fortunate, losing a main hero like that is quite a big deal. Lost Kaden, and ooh, at the end of it, the other Reinhardt gets an early shatter off and a big pin on Braden as Mooresville loses the first team fight.
Group up with me!
Got it! Shield holding!
Let's talk about the other team. They're running a very similar composition, but they have a Roadhog instead of D.Va. And the Symmetra makes a big difference. But ooh, there we go. Braden gets a nice big early pin on a Mercy, and Wyatt gets a nice early kill on their Roadhog, which is really massive, especially this early on in the fight. Mooresville has definitely won this team fight. Hopefully they can get this Ana before she gets out. Very nice, very nice.
Regenerating your cellular.
So Mooresville has already 3 ultimates up and one on its way very shortly. Ultimates, if you do not know, are incredibly important in this game as they define what happens, basically who wins and loses a team fight.
Activating self-destruct sequence.
So Wyatt Krosky with the big Reaper all day. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to do enough to fight as Hobart pulled it out.
Step right up.
Jaylee using her ultimate to try to turn it, but unfortunately just couldn't quite get it off in time. But it does seem that Hobart retreated and gave Mooresville back the point after winning. So it's good, really good news for Mooresville.
Bad guy.
You've taken damage.
Hobart's Roadhog ult and Brayden with a massive shatter. Unfortunately, the other Hobart's DPS were able to stop that from happening, didn't see that from happening. But this is an objective game, not a kills game. So that was a lot of time Mooresville gave to themselves, and they're up 33%, and they're up by over 30%. Hobart's Reinhardt charges in, and getting killed by Mooresville.
Activating self-destruct sequence.
Jaylee with an opening Diva Bomb to get the team in without too much resistance. Caden with a very good kill on the Hobart's Reaper. It's a very good stun by Caden on Hog to prevent anything bad happening to our Diva. Very good plays from Mooresville this team fight. They took that back very quickly and cleanly, and they still have an ultimate and still have a really nice defensive ultimate and one very nice another healer ultimate coming up. But unfortunately, our Moira got picked just as soon as they got their ultimate, so our main healer is currently down for this fight. Potato Rise are getting a big pick on Hobart's Ana, but unfortunately losing their McCree and their Reinhardt. Hopefully Wyatt can make it out of this, so they have more time to make the retake. So it is 99% to be around 90%. This is going to be probably one of the last team fights today. It's one of the last team fights. Good opening with the Coalescence by the Moira. Unfortunately, someone got picked, and there was a big slam from the other team's Reinhardt taking out our Reaper. 3 picks down. It is possible, but it's looking a little. Oh my gosh, Brayden is doing an insane job right now. Still very winnable, but unfortunately, Brayden got anti-nated by the Ana, which does prevent healing from happening. So Lucio was unable to keep him alive. But still, as the team keeps on filing in, it is still very winnable at this point. Just stalling and stalling and stalling. Unfortunately, Hobart takes the first map 99 to 100. A very good plays from both teams at the beginning of the tonight's matches.
Scores 0 to 1.
No dying, Michael.
So right now we are spectating Double Nuke. Chris, who is our main healer, off healer, whose job is to basically keep most of the team alive, especially the tanks. Since tanks are arguably the most important role in this game. Oh, we switched off to Ana, back to Baptiste. Baptiste is a really great AoE healing, very good mobility, and a very, very powerful weapon for a healer. So we're gonna switch back to Brayden. Brayden on the Reinhardt. Good eats by our friend Diva. Pushing this Reinhardt is a very good idea. If Reinhardt dies early, that's very good for Mooresville. If they can keep the res from happening, unfortunately Brayden wasn't able to. He's very low on health, but we have a Moira stuck on the left. Very nice pin on the Reinhardt. A lot of ultimate charge coming up. They just focus on targets, and we'll have to fight the bag. Hobart's Ana's playing very aggressively, but getting them killed. But because Braden followed him in, especially with that Reaper on him. It was very hard to make that alive, especially with that Reaper helping out. The Reaper getting a very good ultimate, several of our teammates.
All systems checked out.
Definitely putting Mooresville on the back foot, but Mooresville did get time, did get percentage, so was not a waste. Very nice pick by White on the Roadhog. Unfortunately, our Moira was pulled out by the end of the Reinhardt. White going very aggressive here, but he managed to make it out. Unfortunately, White became a little bit too aggressive there. They're not having much support from his team. The Reinhardt pushing in on him. Just seems to be a lot of just misplays here by Mooresville a little bit. Just kind of pushing him when they don't need to be, and staggering in a little bit. Staggering in is when your team does not go in all at once, and it's very staggered in their approach to the point, especially. I was just told about some audio complaints. I hope this fixes it. Well, and unfortunately, a massive shatter by Hobart's Reinhardt, basically taking out our entire team. But Wyatt with a massive backdoor high noon, definitely still winnable, as long as Wyatt can get some health inside here. It looks like it's just a Reinhardt left on point. I can't see anything else. Oh, and a Torbjorn, but they have a Mercy, and they're keeping everybody alive. It's just a Reinhardt and a Mercy right now. But the D.Va gets able to get a remake, but the Reinhardt is off the point. Mooresville does take the point back. Very good plays by Wyatt there. Definitely turn that fight around. 86-22. Wow, it does seem like a big difference. Time does not take long, but those percentage points do not take long to get. Ana getting a big ante, and that nano off really does put a hurt on Mooresville right there, especially with having nobody using their ultimates. But fortunately, Chris uses his ultimate and definitely kind of wastes it there on that turret. Or Max, I'm sorry. Mooresville getting to the point where they kind of have to touch the point, but Caden with a big Reaper ult, but unfortunately his team's just not there to back him up. They are staggering in, trying to hold on to the overtime, but it just doesn't look like it can happen yet. Raiden and Max are on the point, but it just seems like they don't know if they can pull it off. Oh, the Shatter definitely seals their fate on this one. But the D.Va was able to get on point, giving us more overtime. The Reinhardt is very low in there. They don't have any healers yet, but the Ana has made it back. Unfortunately, it looks like the first map goes to Hobart, as it is a best of 3.
Play of the game.
Wyatt Prikoski with the play of the game on McCree, this backdoor high noon.
It's time.
Triple.
A very nice flank by our DPS. Still trying to fix some audios, turning things up and down. This is my first time streaming. I'm hoping this is better.
Now entering King's Row.
We're starting our next game on King's Row, one of my personal favorite maps and one of the favorite maps of the Overwatch community. It is a hybrid map, so it's a combination between capture point and escort.
Damage boost engaged.
Attack commences in 30 seconds.
On. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attack commencing. Capture objective A.
Unfortunate first fight for Mooresville as they lose their Lucio very early in their Diva does get demeched, and but they do get the Reinhardt. Mooresville does get the Reinhardt. Can they actually continue with this? Unfortunately missing the charge on the Mei, and our Reaper getting picked off by their Roadhog. Definitely gotta watch the Roadhog on the flanks here. He's definitely causing a lot of issues for Mooresville. Brayden charging in. Hopefully the team can back him up on this, but unfortunately the Reinhardt comes back with a very early shatter on Mooresville, and the Roadhog with an early ultimate on them too. They've been taking out most of our team with those two ultimates. So we're gonna focus on White here as he comes back. Hopefully our Reaper can make it out. Oh, very good. The Roadhog missed his hook, so no one gets taken out today. Unfortunately, giving the Ashe a whole bunch of ult charge with that. Dynamite is an amazing ult charge builder for the Ashe on the enemy team. Unfortunately, our Reinhardt gets walled off and gets killed by gets killed. So we were not able to push for this next team fight. Unfortunately, we lose our Kree again to the Roadhog. Roadhog is very dangerous, especially when you're out of position like that. So Mooresville needs to make a decision here. They need to go fast. They can't keep playing slow like this, so they'll just get picked off by the Mei or the Roadhog. They have plenty of ultimates to be able to push on this next fight. Come in, hope they're waiting for bomb. Here we go. Pushing with Colbus. Very, very good choice. Mooresville does take it. They do with only using 2 ults, keeping both bomb and their Lucio beat, so they are able to take the next fight, hopefully without any issue.
Understood.
Personally, how I'll run this next fight, I definitely lead with bomb. Once they push the card up to the choke there. Oh no! But our Diva does seem to fat finger bomb in the choke. That is very unfortunate for Mooresville. So we can get up here to Kaden and see what he's up to, as he does take out the Junkrat, getting a nice early pick, but unfortunately gets taken out by the Mei. But our Moira is definitely very out of position here and able to help our team, and the whole hog getting them in there. But another ultimate done used by Hobart, which is kind of not my personal choice, especially because the fight was definitely already won. Taking out most of Mooresville's team, but they do seem a decent amount of them do make it out, surprisingly. Follow Kaden as he's up top looking for a cheeky flank or a pick of some sort, maybe kind of catch the Junkrat off guard as he tries to go on a flank himself. Taken going very deep in the end of the team, but he does have Fade to get out, so he's able to definitely make it out. Brayden gets walled off, but does push forward and take out the Mei. A very nice early pick, especially against this comp. Nice, the Reinhardt goes down, but the window shatter combo is very hard to break. Especially as most of Mooresville loses their life here. But Brayden does make it out, and it seems that Mooresville does have enough of people to hold cart, but it's no reason they need to pull back, especially right now. But there are still a couple picks on Hobart. And Mooresville does have all their team here. They should be able to push this cart forward and clean up the rest of Hobart there. The Mei gets staggered very hard, and Hobart will not be able to enter this next fight with the Mei. Gonna have to give up space or try to push a 6v5. Here we have Caden. He's definitely looking for a Death Blossom or Reaper's Ultimate. Trying to get a lot of kills with this next one. TPing across. Hopefully the Junkrat doesn't quite notice so we can get one off early on. But it seems that a Shatter was used. Sorry, I didn't see what happened. But Mooresville does take this fight without having to use I think only using Shatter and Deadeye, which is very nice. So still for next fight, Mooresville does have Death Blossom, Beat, and Bomb. They only need to use their ultimates though, because you do gain ultimate again after using them. So Caden up top still looking for a very nice Death Blossom. Looks like he's gonna go for it soon. Here he goes. Oh, unfortunately he gets tagged by the Roadhog, and Mooresville does get shattered, but the Reaper is still behind them. And that bomb is going to be very nice, especially without having Lamp to keep his team alive. That was going to die. Reinhardt's very low. Looks like the Reaper on him is probably going to go down 2. This Junkrat needs to be next in order to Mercy, but there is a Roadhog behind with his whole Hog ultimate, but he does get taken out by our Lucio. Taking out the Junkrat, but he does stand in Junkrat's mines that he drops when he dies. That's unfortunate. Turns out Mooresville does lose this fight because they just weren't quite grouped up. So a quick thing about escort maps: if the team is not on the card, it will go back just slowly. So they're kind of playing a time game here with only a minute 30 left on the clock. But unfortunately, we lose our Reinhardt to a very, very cheeky flank by the Roadhog, pulling him off the map. Definitely got to watch out for that. This Roadhog has proven to be a problem for Mooresville, especially on this map. We really definitely need to take him out, or especially he should be definitely the main target. But Wyatt does get to take him out as he was out of position. They were able to definitely take advantage of him being way out of position like that. Unfortunately, we lose our Lucio early on in the fight. Unfortunately, oh no, Brayden does lose his Shatter. So Reinhardt and is going to go down, but it's still definitely a pretty close fight between the two. But it looks like Mooresville's not going to quite win this fight. With both of Hobart's tanks being alive, just doesn't seem like they have it in the cards this one. So we're coming down to the last 30 seconds. They're going to have to get nice early pick, but unfortunately they do lose. They do lose their Reaper, but the Junkrat with a massive grenade right there, taking out both the Baby Diva and our main healer, and our off healer. Sorry. Unfortunately, losing the Lucio, especially with this ultimate, that could definitely change the course of this game. Will they be able to actually get this Reaper? But the Reaper and the Roadhog were in there. So the Reinhardt and the Roadhog were in there, but the Mei ultimate still going to make a difference. Wyatt is able to get a pick, but I don't think it's going to be enough right now, especially with that a little late on the beat, but it will keep him alive for a bit as he's able to stall on point so his team can get back in. Unfortunately, he does go down, and it looks like Mooresville does not have a chance to touch. So now it's Mooresville's turn to play on defense.
Score 2-0. Switching sides.
So unfortunately, Mooresville were not quite able to get it all the way, but still a very winnable game for Mooresville.
incoming in 30 seconds.
You weren't given those guns to toss them around like trash.
A moment to enjoy some peace and quiet. Probably just a moment. You should be at peak
5,
performance level.
4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming.
Mooresville starting us out on defense here with a definitely with a double shield composition of Orisa and Sigma. Really trying hard on this defense to have a lot more poke and pressure. Unfortunately, it's like the Roadhog was able to get a hook, but was not able to kill the Symmetra. But we do lose. Oh, a lot of picks on Mooresville right now. It doesn't look like they're gonna be able to hold this first point, especially right now. As it is just one tank left on point. Unfortunately, Mooresville loses the first point very quickly unless we're able to get a big touch again on this first point. Looks like it's going to go to Hobart very quickly. So looks like unfortunately they're able to touch, but they do have a decent advantage, especially coming up here on the hold here on the first corner.
Activating the barrier.
They get a very nice pick on the Reinhardt, but they do lose a lot of ultimates being used right now. But unfortunately, due to those ultimates, Mooresville is definitely losing this next fight. One of the things with control point maps is that especially that if you lose the first fight quickly, the other team does have a big ultimate advantage. And usually that means they win the next fight too. As they're able to engage and get their ultimates off before you do. Mooresville getting pushed through very quickly, losing a lot of time with Hobart gaining over 6 minutes. They have a lot of time to push through, and all they have to do is get it to 66 meters, and they win this game. Looks like Wyatt is going back from the back so we can get a nice combo ultimate is a big deal here, but unfortunately it does hit the Genji first, but very good flux by Brayden. And good follow-up by his team to be able to actually able to secure those kills. So even though they lost the McCree early on, they were still able to pull it out using Flux and seems to be Flux, Valkyrie from Mercy, and the Flux and Valkyrie from Mercy. So coming on to this next fight, Mooresville does need to get an early pick. That's how there's competition plays. They need to focus on getting an early pick so they can continue winning the fight. There's a Genji in their back line doing a lot of damage so they can get it dealt with, but unfortunately, Mooresville does lose their Reaper early on, which is very bad for them, as it gives the enemy an opening. Massive tire, and this coalescence is going to keep all their team alive, losing both their Mercy and their Sigma in the first couple seconds of this, about mid-fight. Caden is definitely looking for a very cheeky Reaper ult. Is he going to be able to get it off? He does get while he doesn't get many kills, he does open up a lot of space for Mooresville to be able to push in. Unfortunately, they do lose their Mercy and they do lose their main tank, but hopefully this Reaper can definitely make a difference, especially being nanoed like this. Unfortunately, he doesn't seem to be able to. He does get the Junkrat. All they gotta do is keep stalling and stay on point, but unfortunately he's unable to get back on point, and Mooresville does lose the second map, and that does mean Mooresville does lose the match today. So good job, Mooresville. You came out, you tried your best, but hey, Brayden Daggy getting the play of the game as Sigma with this really nice flux. Very nice. All right, thank you guys so much for coming out and listening to me. This is my first time doing this. I could definitely tell that I do need a little bit of help with this, but as it goes on, hopefully this gets better, and we might have other different people doing streaming and stuff like that. So hope you guys are looking forward to seeing this and seeing more of your kids and students playing Overwatch at Fort Mooresville. Thank you so much for coming out and listening tonight. Have an awesome evening.